right now. All right, guys, we're back again for the second show, the second podcast with Chris Carter from the great city of Orangeburg. Chris just went back home,
Yeah.
and I know he's excited about that. I probably just got through a staff meeting. You know how these young guys go. They like to meet at 12 o'clock at night to get ready for a game and everything. But before we go, a couple of announcements. This podcast that I do every week is done by my agency, insurance agency. And if you got any insurance needs or retirement needs and everything, I will gladly be able to help you out. And especially those guys who are in annuities, who are not getting good rate of return, hit me up. My number's right there. I'll be able to get you into something that will get you good, get you getting going, and get you a real good return on your money. We can sit down and talk about that process. And also, there's a service, a young lady who's from Gambia, who's retired educator, and actually she got her education right here in the United States, and she's helping Gambian children, just to help with kids with books and everything. You'll be surprised how a lot of these kids don't have what the things that our kids are afforded in this country. It kind of reminds me of the thing that Donald, what's his name, the guy on MSNBC, he got this little thing that he does for Malawi. I can't think of the name of the country, but he raised millions and millions of dollars. And it's about time we give back to our heritage people, because that's the homeland. And so I got the website, got Dr. Endow number and her name and her telephone number. So just give her a hit up and everything to see if you want to be interested in helping and everything. So now that we got that out of the way, let me put this back up. There we go. Let me tell you, we got Chris Carter, who is God, you read his bio. That's the word I'm looking for. It seems like he's been around for a long time, and actually he has been around for a while, for a minute or so, and I've done some of the things that he's done. Matter of fact, I can't remember the year I first met you, Chris. It's been a minute. And I remember sitting on the floor of one of those coaching meetings and just sitting down talking to you. I don't know if I was sitting down trying to explain something to you, or if my old behind was just tired. I can't remember. But I'm glad you agreed to come on, man. I am so thrilled to have you on. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make you that's not what I want right there. I'm going to make you the focal point right here. There we go. You got you the big picture, and I'm putting me the little picture and everything. So, Carter, for those 15 or 20 people that don't know you, you want to introduce yourself and tell us about you?
Well, like you said, my name is Chris Carter. I'm from Orangeburg, South Carolina. Been coaching now. I can't count the years. I just know when I started. I started in 1997, 98. Around that time, I was coaching in Dalton, Georgia, and been coaching ever since. Got my first head coaching job in 2005, and been doing that ever since at just various places. It's kind of always been like, programs that had to be rebuilt. So that's kind of been like my forte pretty much everywhere I've been, is getting those programs that people said that they really didn't want. I think this is the first one that I probably went into with this many kids for his athletes.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. I been following your steady rise, as I called it, and and have been impressed, to say the least. What what made you want to get into coaching?
You know, it's crazy. In my, you have the senior high school books, and in my senior high school book, they say, "Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?" And I said, I saw myself coaching high school football. And it's just something that I kind of gravitated to. Through the years, I always, knew I wanted to be a coach, and wanted to be a high school coach. So I've always been intrigued with trying to, learn from guys who have, been there, done it, and just the love for it just kind of stayed there.
And we'll get into some of the things that you have done in the past, but one of the things that really impressed me about you when I found out that this is what you were doing is how you would take your kids to camps and everything, load them up in a van and go.
Yeah, just kind of go, huh?
Yeah. Where'd that come from?
When I first started coaching, it was a little small town, kind of in Dalton, but I would always see kids, and for us coming up, when I came up to Orangeburg-Wilkerson, that was kind of like the way we got out. It was, I saw guys go to college. Coach Saxon coached me. We're putting a lot of guys in school, but that was just our way of getting out because, our parents at that time couldn't afford a college education. So it was like, this could, be the thing to help change our lives. And, when I started coaching and I started coaching at various schools, some of the schools I would coach at, I would see a lot of kids like us. They were really good running backs, really good receivers, and they would run the ball, they would do good. And then 4 years later, and I'm not saying it's a knock on it, but 4 years later, that great back was sitting in CVS stocking boxes. And I'm like, all that skill set, it could have changed his life. And then, as a coach, I would look and I would say, okay, this coach, we get the trophies, we get the championships, but that's all good for us. But I'm like, this kid broke his neck, bled, swam the field, and he's, this is what they get out of it. So with that, it was kind of like, what ways I could come up with to help the kids that had that type of God-given ability to use it to get out, they have a better life. And that was one of the things, that was the only thing the mission was to help kids have a better life that were stuck in places where they may not have had a chance to get out.
Okay. And you did that as an assistant also, or you just started that when you became a head coach?
Well, man, I became a head coach. And here's the thing. I've always learned, somebody's always kind of helped me along the way. But the first school I had was Garinger High School, and I had a kid named Thomas Gooding. I always say he's the best NFL receiver that people never heard about, and that was my first head coaching job. And it was like the kid was just turned 19. He'd never played football, 6'5", 210. I go in the gym, I see him, but he started playing, and when he was playing, they were living in a hotel in Charlotte, and they were going from hotel to hotel to hotel. But wow. I didn't know how to promote kids there. I didn't know how to get them in school. I didn't have any idea of that. So I was coaching, but I just didn't know. And this kid, I look back on it now, if I had him now, he'd probably be a Power 5 kid sitting somewhere in the NFL. So it's kind of like, I always said, if I ever run into that again, I will never let that happen. So, fast forward it a couple of years later, I got another kid like him named Mike Williams. And it was kind of like, how you kind of like, you have stuff and you say, I'll never let this happen again. And then that's how it started. Just boom, it just started going.
Okay. Yeah, just that part always impressed me, how you would go the extra mile, as I call it, to help those kids out and everything. We'll get into Orangeburg-Wilkerson in a minute, but I wanted to look more into what got you to OW, because that's let's talk about success, failures, ups and downs, downs and ups, whatever.
Yeah.
All this has made Carter as a coach, because I don't think there's ever a smooth line going through this thing. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Getting into coaching and when I first started, it was I went through some things earlier that I think helped prepare me for this job. I think about after I got, which one, the first one was when I became the head coach of the first NIFL arena football team in Chattanooga at the age of 30, I think 31, 30, but I was a head coach and general manager. And I can remember, lady come in and, we're playing football. I'm bringing in guys from all over the country. And not even into the third game, she skips town with the money. Everybody's looking at me like, like I'm the guy that had the team. And I mean, I could have probably crawled under a rock that during that time. I remember they would have my video playing on the church board. Oh, we got guys blessing. I'm sitting there saying, yeah. And I got people in the church saying, no, that's not really what's going on. That team is belly up. And just, they would tell us they're going to pay the guys, and I would get the guys to play. And then I go to the hotel to pick up the money. They're gone. And I got to go back and tell the guys they didn't give us the money. Mm-hmm. And so it was like a really tough time. And then to top it off, after all that kind of passed, I had a magazine come to me and say, hey, coach, we want to, talk about your story with the about how, the River Sharks and what it was like. So they're telling me, I'm telling them the story, giving them all the information. About 2 days later, a buddy of mine said, have you seen Enigma magazine? I said, no. They said, go get it. You need to go get it. They have my picture on the front cover of the magazine in big, pretty. I'm coaching, looking good. And in bold letters, they have how not to run a professional organization. And in very small letters, very tight at the bottom, Chris Carter tells his story. So I called the guy. I'm like, hey, man, the magazine you just published, you making me look real. You making me look like that was me. And he was like, oh, we supposed to sell articles. I said, oh. And I mean, it was just like during that time, when you're going through it, you think it's the worst thing in the world. But, kind of pushing through it. And then, once I got through that, I walked into Garinger. I can remember the first year at Garinger. That was my first head high school job. I go in, I got this huge line. Big mamma jamma, 6'4", 310 pounds. I mean, they're huge. And they hadn't won a game in 5 years. But I'm looking at these kids, and I remember one of the coaches I hired said, hey, coach, you going to do any scrimmages? I'm like, oh, no, man, we don't need to do any scrimmages. All right, we're going to be fine. We're good to go. He said, you sure about that? Oh, yeah, man. I'm telling you, we got it. First game, 63-0. I was like, whoa. So I said, I bet you we do some scrimmages after this. Yeah. But it, all that was like a growth. It you ups, you downs. You kind of go in thinking this. So and then as you go through it, it always seems like it's tough. But now I kind of learn. You go in the fire, you come out the fire. But coaching is just like a roller coaster, and you never learn it all. You're always gonna learn something, new. But it all comes down to blocking, tackling, catching, and doing those things. But it's been up and down. It hadn't always been peaches and roses all the way through. So I tell people, if you're going to get into coaching, you better have a thick layer of skin.
Yep. Yeah. You better.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you start dealing with other human beings, you better have a thick skin. you came from Garinger to Lake Marion,
Came to Garinger to Lake Marion.
and how did that experience at Garinger turn out?
We wound up winning the region championship the second year, and then we were Queen City got coach of the year. We broke the longest losing streak as a staff, and then I kind of moved on. And I remember coming to Lake Marion. I was like, "Woo, man! I got top athletes, a gold mine for a stadium. The place is perfect." And I can remember going in that game. I got a bunch of players, and I'm thinking, man, I knew the pressure was a little different because I said, they expected me to win and win now. So, I kind of, got into it. And then I can remember one game sticks out in my mind my first year. And I went into a game, my starting quarterback got hurt. And I went to the next game with one quarterback. Didn't even rep another kid, just one quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He gets hurt. So we're back there. And we're running one play like straight up the middle. I couldn't pass the ball. We couldn't do nothing. And everybody's like, "Coach, blah, 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 blah." And so after the game, one of the guys come up to me and said, "Coach, you mean tell me you win that game with one quarterback?" And I was, at that time I was like, "Man, I don't want to hear this." No, he said, "No, there's no excuses, Coach. You went into the game with one quarterback and didn't train anybody." So I kind of, always was a learning process. But through the years at Lake Marion, it was like kind of like, dips in the first part. And then I think about that third year is when stuff started kind of taking off there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember. And I think your fourth year, you were one game away from playing in a lower state championship, or you played in the lower state championship.
The fourth year I was one game away.
Yeah, you played Dillon, right?
Yeah, it was always Dillon that would pull me out. So it was either our third round. And then the seventh year, I got to the lower state championship. And again, it was Dillon that put me out.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's right, because I was at Marion and we played. We stopped by y'all place to take a rest. And we played, what's the name of that school down there? The Blue Lower, not Lowers. I can't. It'll come to me. Petticoat Junction. What's that school on there? Where I can't think of it right now. But we played them for the lower state championship and came that close from going to the state championship that night.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was the. I guess that was in the window where it's supposed to go, because nothing we could do. The kids played hard and everything, but we fell up short. And then you left Lake Marion to go to what was that place? Edisto.
Yeah, I always say Edisto was the best place as far as teaching me about administration part of it, and just teaching me about understanding where you fit. Coaches, a lot of times, and now I understand, a lot of times, we can be successful in one place, and then the money comes. It comes knocking on the door. Boom, 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 boom. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
But as a coach, we all know we fit certain places, and certain places we just don't fit. When I got to Edisto, they were 0-22, and they told me that they just want a team to be competitive. They wanted to win, and we broke the losing streak. And the next year, we was able to win a couple more games, and then the next year, we was able. People don't even realize that, but we actually won 4 games and lost 3, but we only played 7. So we finished last season 4-3. But the thing about Edisto, it was like I thought some of the people there were like real receptive of me, and I think other people were not. So it was right then I kind of learned, you got to go where you fit. You can't chase money. And I've talked to a lot of coaches over the past year that they've done good at certain places, and then it's like, bam, they go, I said, listen, I know the money's coming, but you don't fit everywhere. So you got to know that. And once you understand that, you understand where you fit, then you kind of understand that sometimes it's better just to stay put. So in my third year, I just walked away from coaching. I just said, I'm done. I had no intentions on coming back in, and I did say, I said only one school could get me back becoming coach, and I said that would be my alma mater. But I actually walked away, didn't miss it. But I think I got to the point where I was just kind of burned out on it, and I didn't want anything to do with it. I went totally in a different direction. I started working with cameras. I just didn't want nothing to do with coaching. I didn't even care to talk about it. You know, it was almost like people, and every time I go somewhere, people was like, they would always say, "Why are you not coaching anymore?" You know, and it was just like, because I don't want to. I'm done with it. So it was, and I stayed there for about 4 years. 4 years, just kind of, just worked as an AD there at the store, but didn't have anything to do with coaching.
Oh, that's good, man. It's good that you can walk away and not regret it. Hey, I'm doing this for me, and it's a good feeling because sooner or later you're gonna have to give it up.
It don't last forever.
Yeah, that does not last forever. The love for the game lasts, but the day-to-day stuff, you just got to learn how to give it up and move on. And now we've talked X's and O's. We're not going to talk basic X's and O's tonight and everything. But your philosophy, what is your base philosophy when it comes to football?
My biggest thing is when it comes to football is to create a structure of the game to where, and I don't even think it really deals with football, but create a structure in which it changes young men's lives by creating opportunities for them to have a better life. And I always say through the process of that the team will get better and we'll start winning because we'll start reshaping individuals. We'll start changing their mindsets. We'll start having kids that look at athletics as, this could be a means of me getting out of creating a better life. So, I go into football, but it's more what life lessons. I'm always trying to teach some type of life lessons. And even with Orangeburg-Wilkerson, even though, of course, you're going to have some people that's happy I'm here. You're going to have some people that are not happy I'm here. But my thing is with Orangeburg-Wilkinson, I tell them all the time, a coach doesn't win the championship. A community does that. I can help you win some games, but I'm not going to win the state championship. But as a community, y'all get behind us and y'all support us. That's how we'll win it. But my philosophy is just using the game of football to help change young men's lives, to create a better life for them.
Have you had this all happened late, I think, right? This happened in March, April, something like that.
It happened real late. Matter of fact, we didn't have a spring with the guys, and so the first time I saw them in pads was August the 4th or 5th. That was the first day. No, excuse me, August the 3rd, and then we had our first scrimmage on the 4th. So the one thing going into this season, you want to be very optimistic, but as every coach knows, it's like, but I don't know how they're going to perform in battle. I don't have a clue. We've had some tough scrimmages. I think those have been okay, but it's just like, 63, 66 days we've had with the kids, and we're still learning them. They're still learning me. I told the seniors the other day, which they thought about. I said, guys, I only got like 10 weeks regular season with y'all, and we're blessed to go on. It's a total of 16 weeks now, and y'all are done. So, it's a difference when you're in your third or fourth year and these kids are yours. And not say the other kids aren't mine, but it's just they're still learning me, I'm still learning them. And we haven't been in any battles together.
And it takes time to build that bond.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the toughest things to do when you come into a new into a new situation. Um, Now, of course, you got this rip roaring staff that is that you. How's the staffing coming along? Because
Yeah,
I know you can't do all this by yourself, and you'd be insane to think
yeah,
that you can do all this by yourself now.
yeah. I was that was one of the things I was thinking about when I was coming in because I was like, Orangeburg. Well, people know it's always been tough to get coaches, especially in our area because a lot of people don't want to come here.
Why is that?
Well, they want to be in the big cities. They want to be near and I tell them Columbia's right up the street, Charleston's an hour away.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a lot of people, when they come to Orangeburg, it's kind of tough to get them to buy in. So a lot of times you recycle coaches. But I was able to get a group of young guys in that they played there, but some of them been off coaching. I think our staff now is funny. I'm one of the old guys on the staff now. So, most of them 29, so a lot of them played college ball. Some of them had some college coaching experience. One of them actually played for me. So it's a good young staff. But, I have to, I'm coaching them pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
But they are they're enthusiastic. They kind of, especially one of them that reminds me of myself. So they're kind of like, because one coach told me, he said, eventually one day you can get tired of all that yelling and stuff. Just trust me. So they kind of take that burden off of me now a little bit. I still get in there and get in it, but they're the ones that's fired up. We got a great strength coach, Coach Clark. Jason Levert, he played at John C. Smith. We got Virgin Johnson. He played at Alabama A&M. Romy Williams played at Tuskegee. We got Avery Owens, who played at Benedict. Josh Davis and Huggins, who played in North Greenville. And I just brought in another guy, some defensive lineman, played OW, played at Limestone. So we got some guys that are, that are home fed and they grew up at OW, they love OW, and they just want to see it successful.
How is the administration?
The administration is really good. We got a former Bruin, Raheem Elamine, that played linebacker at OW.
Who's that now?
Raheem Elamine. He played at OW around 97, 98.
Okay.
Around that time. He's a former Bruin. And then we have, Cedric Simpson, AD. He came from Brooklyn Casey. But, he was one of the guys who was also fighting for me. But, they've been real supportive. Just, kind of, whatever you need. I laugh. I'm older than both of them, so they come to me, they talk. But they I never thought a day I'd be the old guy, but it's just the fact of Raheem, he knows about the Bruin pride and he wants to get that going back again. And Simp just he didn't go to W, but his family's from Orangeburg and he just loves Orangeburg-Wilkerson. So we got a good group. My thing is I always say, a lot of times I get administration is pretty good, and the next year they're gone. They got a promotion somewhere, and now, it's a whole change up. So, but they told me they ain't going nowhere for right now.
Okay, that's good, man. And I know that's a tough community to win over. As unrealistic as they think sometimes, is there any kind of realistic there that will allow you to build that program?
One of the things I keep preaching to them, and I said it in my first article when I took the job, was that the community, Chris Carter won't win y'all a state championship. The community will. And I've been challenging the former Bruins that, because here's the thing, I'm also an alumni. So I've been in the alumni group listening to people complain for the last couple of years. Man, we ought to do this, we ought to do that. So now, Ron hooked those guys, but I've been challenging them. I've talked to some guys from the 71 team. Had a chance to talk to, I even had a chance to talk to Coach Sheridan. Had a chance to talk to Michael Kane, those guys. I had a chance to talk to a lot of good people. And what I've challenged everybody to say, look, I need your help, and I put it out on social media. I got this thing called Protect the Brand. But the thing is, I tell them, I said, this thing ain't gonna be built overnight, but it is a commitment. Y'all would be upset with me if I won 10 games and left after the first year.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all be very upset with me. Y'all be like, man, he sold us out. He didn't want to stay. So I need you to have that same type of commitment to me to help build the program. And so that's the thing. And I've been really preaching that. When I went to Edisto kind of brought me in, I would say, like on a high horse. Oh, we got Coach Carter, blah, 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 blah. But with OW, I mean, I've been, really fighting that, saying let's not celebrate Chris Carter. How about let's celebrate the community helping us restore the pride of what we say Orangeburg-Wilkerson is. So it's not Chris Carter's going to stay. It's not Chris Carter, but it's Orangeburg-Wilkerson. And that's what I've been preaching to him more than anything. And I think that's the message that's starting to get out there.
In every community, there's that it all depends on how big the community is, but there's always that 3 or 5 guys that that got the air of everybody. Have you had a meeting with those assistant coaches?
Yeah. We don't have anybody off the former staff. They stayed. All those guys are gone.
Are you serious? All of them got out of Dodge?
Yeah. We just had one. I think he got a promotion with his job. He was the only one that stayed on, but he left eventually. So everybody's pretty much brand new. Wow. And so that's one thing. And here's the funniest thing, and it's different from the places I've been. A lot of these kids, I went to school with their parents. So sometimes I catch myself talking to them like, hey, nah, we ain't doing that now. And it's like, so it's different from any place I've ever been. Because, I always say if I would have came and gotten the OW job straight out of Charlotte, it probably would have ate me alive. But being here for about 10, 12, 13 years at Lake Marion, then going to Edisto and stepping away from coaching and for 4 years and to sit back and just watch things, it's kind of like I knew automatically to put my foot on the gas and go there, because I heard all the complainers. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, okay, I know what y'all complaining about. I already know what y'all fussing about. Because y'all, Doug Williams always said, it's like a guy that's been dating a girl and the other guy's been out there and the girlfriend's been complaining. Mm-hmm. And you just been sitting back there listening. And then when you jump in, you're hitting home runs, not because you're there, but you've been listening to all the complaints.
You done all the studying, yeah.
Yeah, you done studying. So, you jump in, you jump right in. You're like, okay. Uh-huh. But, not anything, because I think Butch is a great coach, but it's just some of the things here I didn't know to do other places, because I didn't know the people like that. So it has its pluses, it has its minuses, but, with any job, that comes with the territory.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, the toughest thing in the world, especially with the sudden change, is here go my bad English, are the kids. How have the kids bought into what you're trying to accomplish then?
At first, I think they were a little apprehensive because, no one knew who I was. And no matter how much you say I went to OW, these kids don't have any idea who Chris Carter is. They don't know him. You just some guy that went to school here, so what? Mm-hmm. And that's how they look at it. So, come off your high horse and get out there and explain to them. But what I had to do was kind of actually win them over step by step. And I used a lot of social media to do that. Again, in the 4 years I was off, I started getting into doing podcasts and film and different things, writing scripts and stuff. So I got real handy with the camera. So I was able to come in and do stuff, some of the things that the kids like. I was able to do the posters and the videos, and then we took them to Alabama. We took them from places. So that was an immediate impact with the kids. And then from there, it was kind of like step by step, they started seeing that, you can talk to me. And then being able to be in the community, and some of the guys that's on my staff knew some of the kids. So they were able, so some of the fires that I would have to put out probably 2 years down the line, I was able to put them out kind of like quickly, and notice certain fires. People will come and warn me so it was because I had people on the staff that knew the kids a little bit more than me, but they had OW best interests at heart. They were able to help me. So that was some of the ways I was able to win them over. And I still haven't won them over completely, because it's just a different feeling when you got them jokers that run through that wall, but they're not far off. They're not far off. So, but we just got to keep working. And the biggest thing is got to mean what I say, and then, mean what I say, do what I say, and actually carry out what I say, whether they like it or not.
Now, the assistant coaches, how are their interactions with the kids? Is it becoming, you don't get there immediately, but is it becoming one message to the kids?
Yeah. And like you say, as coaches, we learn it over the years. I find myself doing so many things different than what I've done before. We meet every day after practice, immediate feedback. Some of the scrimmages, we scrimmaged like Fort D, we scrimmaged South Point, and when I saw things that wasn't correct, I immediately corrected it in, and then I explained to them why. Why we do this. Look at what their staff's doing. Look at how they're moving. So it's instead of, I guess, as the older you get, the more direct you get. So it's more, hey, boom. It's not so much of let's wait and talk. No, let's talk about it now. But they're starting to understand, because you have to. People, if you don't tell people the vision, then they're not gonna know the vision, and they're gonna implement their own vision. So I'm constantly reminding them, this is the vision, this is where we're going. I put, I've never done it before, and I don't see why I never did, but I got our core values up, I got our vision up, and I read it to the guys every day. Like, this is the vision, this is where we're going, this is our core values: accountability, trust, respect, over and over and over and over and over again. And sometimes, young guys, they want to try a lot of different things, and I'm like, that's fine. I let them be creative, but then I also hold them back. We still got to master something. We got to master something. We got to stand on something. And so they're starting to understand that now.
Yeah, you got to have that brand. What is
I tell them all the time, protect the brand. And that's one of the things that's been ringing out all through Orangeburg, protect the brand. And I get on them about that all the time. I say, OW's a brand name. So when you go out and represent it correctly, protect the brand. I tell our kids, protect the brand. I tell the community to protect the brand. Like, if you see something you don't like, don't complain about how stink it is, but help me get some deodorant and cover it up. So my thing is, instead of us as, our people complaining about something, roll your sleeves up and get in it with me and help me build this thing. See, I'm gonna
get you out of there in a minute.
Oh, you good.
Yeah. One more question. With the scrimmages you had, how did they go overall for you?
They went well. One of the things, because our schedule is so tough, I mean, everybody always say, who made your schedule? I said, well, I didn't make the schedule. But, we opened up with White Knoll. We got South Florence. We got Gilbert, we got Silver Bluff, we got BC, we got Lower Richland.
That was that other school, Silver Bluff. I can remember.
Yeah. So we got some doozies. So what I did was, try to find the toughest teams that played that caliber of speed, and some of them they shocked me. The one that really shocked me was the Fort D. They lined up and they got after those guys and they played. We had 2 goal line stands in there where I just wanted to see where we was at, but they didn't shy away, and that's one thing I'm learning with the kids. These kids, they're not scared to play anybody. We've all been a part of a team where you like the kids out there, they're scared to play them. I'm like, guys, they put the pads on just like us.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not scared to play anybody, but they competed, and that was one of the things I wanted them to do. So that level of competition helped us out, because what it did, it challenged them, and it helps them understand the type of speed we got to play at now because of the schedule we have.
Well, that's fantastic, man. And you open up with
we open up with White Knoll. OW's never beaten White Knoll before. I think last year's score was 41-13. We're playing for the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
They're I think they're 5A, 4A,
something like that. Yeah.
And then we go to Keenan, and then we come back with South Florence. South Florence is really good, so we gotta pin our ears back and go get them.
Well, that's good, man. Well, the best of luck to you, man, and I'll be peeping in the papers.
Got you.
Yeah, and wishing you the best and everything. And if there's one man I know who can get it done, you are it.
Yeah, I always tell them though, with the community. I keep telling them that, and that's the thing. You go to Dillon, you go to Dutch Fork, you go to any schools, and people always go and they look at them and they say, "Man, how come my program's not like that?" I say, go and look at the atmosphere of that program.
Yeah.
Go drive around the city and hear what they're saying about their program. It's the community, their involvement. If you can't spend money, spend time. If you can't spend time, come to a game. Mm-hmm. But their involvement in the program shows the kids the level of expectations that they want the kids to play at. So if you want the kids to play at a high level, then your matching or support needs to match the level of what you want your kids to play at.
That's right.
Yeah,
that is so right, man. That is so.
So don't tell me to build you a Cadillac and you bringing me Pinto parts.
That's right. Well, I tell you what, you got is Willie still there?
Yeah, Willie Thomas is there. I actually sat down with Willie.
Yeah,
we go out to eat lunch, and I asked Willie a couple times because I've never won a state. And I said, Willie, what was that code? Because I tell the kids, I can get you the low. I know how to get to the lower state, but I've never won a state. So I asked Willie a lot, and I said, man, what was it about those guys that when you won the state, what was the difference? And every coach that has always told me, they talk to me, they say, man, them boys were like brothers. They were so close. And when you call them, it wasn't, what you doing? Well, I'm over here doing this. We over here doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it was when we went to the lower state. They were so close.
Yeah.
That it was just like, they just fed off each other.
Everybody has to be on the same page, and you got to get them to almost that point where they love each other.
Yeah.
Keep milking Willie, because
yeah.
When you see him again, tell him I say hello, man.
Got you.
Now I'm gonna get you out of here, but I got 2 more questions I gotta ask you.
Okay.
I need number 1, if you were to have an hour to sit down with a coach, who would that coach be? You have 1 hour of unadulterated, and the second one is, if you were to sit with anybody outside of coaching, had an hour to sit down with that person, who would that be? Take anyone you want at first. I mean, you want first.
Well, when it comes to coaching, I would love to sit down with. That's a tough one, But I always say Coach Saban. I like to sit down and talk with him and just kind of find out. And I've listened to him talk, but just the process. And I'm big on that. Wherever I go now, is the process and what it is about football that you're able to pull what you can pull out of kids. And not only you do it one year, you do it over and over and over and over. And the second one would be Deion Sanders. So they kind of like tied, because they both do it. But
what about Deion Sanders? What has made him come up to that level of Saban?
Because
to you,
because he's a trendsetter. He challenges what Deion Sanders is doing. I would say almost is even better than what Nick Saban's done, even though he hadn't won the championships like Nick Saban. Because not only is he building a program, but what he's doing, he's a pioneer because he's challenging HBCUs. He's challenging those colleges to say, hey, if you want these type programs, then you've got to invest, and we've got to do things correctly for our kids and provide for our kids so they'll want to come. So he's making it where a guy FAMU is going to get more assistance because of what Deion's saying. Like he's saying stuff to people. He's in a position he can take hits that some people can't take. Like, and he's speaking up for him. He's like, he'll say the coach at Prairie View A&M they can coach. He'd probably be a real good coach if they will supply him the stuff he needs. So he puts people on the spot. He challenges them, but he's challenging the authority and of HBCU to say, hey, if y'all want to do this, this is how we're going to do it. We're not going to do it as business as usual. And that's the thing I think trendsetters do. They challenge the norm, and they make people change and get better. And then they pave the way for others around. And that's something that I think, they're not liked in the beginning, but they appreciate it in the end.
Okay. And that person outside of coaching?
Oh, man. Woo, man. That's, believe it or not, that has to go to screenwriters, because I like telling stories. I like telling stories. I like doing film. So it would be, man, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of stumped me on that one. Because it's so many people, when it comes to, that. But I like to talk to people who have beat the odds. I love talking to those type of people. I love talking to people who've been the underdogs that did it when people say they couldn't do it. So anybody in that category, they'll have my ears all the time.
Okay. Well, fantastic, Chris. And well, I really appreciate you sitting with me in the dark, man.
Oh, no
I didn't mean for it to be like,
yeah. Oh, you good.
Yeah. Anything you'd like to say on the way out?
I just like to say thank you for giving the opportunity. And it's I always say, because I run a version of the double wing, and I run out of power. And I always tell people the person who taught me was Coach Johnson. I said, I remember I talked to him. I said, Coach, that? Nope. This is how you do it. But that play has been really good for me at a lot of places. The concept of it, the blocking scheme of it. So I've implemented that in so many different things. And it's always been a go-to in a lot of formations where you may not have those big solid linemen, but the concept was, hey, we're gonna run off tackle. I tell you that, and we could get it done.
Okay, well, I appreciate the thumbs up and everything. All right, man. Well, you have a good night, and I really appreciate you coming on, man. And
I appreciate you.
And be careful going to the house. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, buddy. We'll talk later. All right, guys. That's the the guy who's going to get it all done in Orangeburg. I'm almost sure he is, because he's uh, he got it together, and with the kids and with the staff and everything, he has that concept down. He knows where he wants to go, and that's half the battle won. That's more than half the battle won, knowing where you're going, knowing where you want to be at. Okay, well, I really appreciate everybody being with us tonight. Of course, these will be up on YouTube, LinkedIn, and a couple of YouTube and everything. Like, share, and support. And and soon, sometime soon, we're going to have all of these on the web page where you can go and look at all the coaches, and we'll try to get that done within the next 30 days. But until next Sunday, and the reason we pick Sunday is that we don't want to get in the way of the coaches preparing for their games, and that can be a tedious time, and we just don't want to be in the way. So until next Sunday, and we'll have 2 more coaches, and this time we'll be talking about their wins, losses, and a few other things. Y'all have a good night's rest, and make sure that you go and support or look into supporting. Go to the website helpgambianchildren.com, or contact Dr. Mendow, and there's a number. And of course, if you have any financial assistance needs, such as insurance and insurance retirement programs, such as well, let's put it like this: we can get you into a better program than you have most of the time. So give us a holler, and set up a time where we can just see where you are and put you in a better program. Until next week, y'all have a good night. And again, take somebody you find and give them a hug and tell them you love them. Good night.